So, there aren't many parts to the saxophone. So what you're gonna start with is you have the body of the saxophone and you have the neck. So when you put the neck on, make sure you're holding the bell and you hold it from the center of the neck so that you're not putting a lot of pressure on the part that is lifted over the edge. You just kind of grab it from there so that you make sure that you also don't mess with the octave key. And sometimes if it doesn't slide in as easily as you think it should, you can take a little bit of cork grease and put on your fingers. Very, very little though, and it'll help it go in.
Okay.
And then just tighten the screw. Not too tight. Have the mouthpiece, and you have the reed, so you could take the reed and put it in your mouth to soak it. And just kind of let it sit there for a little bit. Normally when you're warming up, or if your students are going to start warming up, tell them to just do this a couple minutes in advance, not too long. And you have the ligature and the mouthpiece. So when you're done wetting the reed, take the mouthpiece. I'll hold the sides for a second. Take the mouthpiece and put the ligature on first. And now slide the mouthpiece, not the other way, yeah. And then take the reed and slide it underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to loosen it up a little bit.
You can loosen it up a little more. This just stops students from chipping the reed by putting the ligature on afterwards.
Okay.
You could even lift the ligature up a little bit and slide them both in at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, like this one would be a little easier if you take
Okay,
it. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
And then you're gonna want to make sure when you look at, let me see the mouthpiece for a second.
Yeah.
When you put it on, you're gonna tighten it very little, just enough so that it feels snug.
Okay.
And then that's when you start to position the reed, when you have a little bit of give. Make sure that a little bit of black from the mouthpiece is showing over when you look at the reed directly,
Okay.
and that it's lined up straight, and then you can just finish tightening it. You don't need to tighten it so much, just enough that it's on there.
Okay.
You can wiggle the mouthpiece on there. If you need cork grease, you could do that.
Okay.
And then there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so when you play trombone, do you articulate it all with your throat?
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to? Because I don't know what it is, I hear a little bit when you're playing that you're kind of like, it's in your throat. Like I can almost hear your throat start to tensen up before you start playing.
Okay.
So when you're articulating, a lot of it's just coming from your tongue. And you gotta make sure that you don't use the fleshy part of your tongue, you use the tip of your tongue so you can get a clear articulation, especially for these staccato notes.
Okay.
So, also, how are you fingering an A? 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Well, and right up here, right?
Yeah, it's just, no. An A is just 1 and 2 up here and nothing else. So play that. Yeah. That's an A.
Okay.
Just make sure that, like, when you play an A, you don't press anything with your lower hand, because that'll make some weird stuff happen.
Okay.
Okay, so try that one more time and think of that. Also, when you're playing staccato notes, don't think so much as stopping the air. Think about it stopping the air. Don't think about like stopping and restarting the whole time. Think about like you're just putting a blip in consistent airstream. So you're thinking dun 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 dun.
Okay.
So you're not thinking like because that's what's getting the like weird separation. So try that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. I guess the last thing I want to say is, it'll just come with comfort. As far like over time, you'll be able to realize like how each fingering works and like getting used to the piece. So there's not much really wrong with your articulation. I think it's just getting used to playing this piece. Maybe don't slam the C sharp so much when you're doing the D to C sharp that has the tie over it. Just kind of think of cutting the sound off like dun dun, not really a dun dun, because it's not like a heavy rearticulation. It's just stopping on that note.
Okay.
And a lot of saxophone players tend to do that, especially like with C sharp being such an out note. It's normally going to be pretty flat. So there are alternate fingerings you could teach your more advanced students.
Okay.
That'll help them out with that, but you don't really need to do that right now.
Alright, so to put it together, the first thing you're going to do is put the neck on, which is this. And you're going to put it on using a small wiggles, like this.
Small wiggles.
Yeah, and make sure not to like squeeze the keys up here, because then you can bend them, and that breaks them.
Oh, that would suck.
It would. Alright. And then you're going to assemble the mouthpiece, the ligature, and the reed.
Okay.
So you're going to put the reed on the mouthpiece like this, and then you're going to slide the ligature on like this with the screws on the same side as the reed. And then you're going to tighten them just a little bit, just so it's firm, not too tight.
Okay.
And when you hold it straight up like this, you want to see a little bit of black above the reed.
Okay.
And then you're going to put it on the cork here, using small wiggles again.
It's all about finesse with this thing.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so another thing is that if you're having trouble putting the reed or the mouthpiece onto the neck or the neck onto here, then you can apply a tiny bit of cork grease on the cork.
Grease. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can just, it should be easier to put on. Alright, so to hold the saxophone, just turn it so you can see it.
Okay.
You're going to put your index finger on this key here, your middle finger on this key, and then your ring finger on this key.
Okay.
And that's your left hand. And for your right hand, you're going to put your index finger there, middle there, and ring finger there.
Okay.
Okay, so to form your embouchure, there are 3 steps. The first step is to form your lips like you're putting on chapstick, kind of like this.
So
Like do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next step is to insert the mouthpiece into your mouth. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
And then the third step is to it's like a drawstring bag. Like you know how when you like tighten it, it like tightens up like that. So
Okay.
you gotta like firm your corners so that your embouchure is
like-
firm
like-
around
oh,
the
okay.
mouthpiece.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure your corners are firm. If they're flabby, it's just not gonna work. Okay, so another thing is that your top teeth should be resting on the top of the mouthpiece.
Oh.
And
Okay.
your corners should be nice and firm.
Mhm.
And the mouthpiece should be like going straight out. Like for clarinet, you want an angle down, but for saxophone, you want it like straight. Alright, so when you articulate, you want to make sure that you're articulating with the tip of your tongue.
Okay.
Like da da instead of
Da,
ta
da,
ta or whatever.
da, da.
And you want to articulate like on the tip of your reed.
A tip?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, so like the end.
between the black and the...
No. More like on the bottom,
Oh,
like
on the
just on
bottom.
the tip of the reed, not in
Okay.
between, because you'll pinch. Thank you.